welcome everyone. Thanks for coming out today. I'm Randy Stewart and I'd like to get started. As time moves on and life becomes more modernized, convenience and comfort become more prominent in people's lives today. For example, heating and cooling indoors, running hot water, running cold water, a flush of a toilet, things of such. That's really been a high priority in people's lives today. And this necessity has resurrected the HVAC field tremendously, or the heating, ventilation, and air conditioning is what it stands for, field tremendously. And that's why it's a very, very fabulous field to be in. Entrepreneurship is described by the article Guided Management and Ideas. That's the name of the article, excuse me. It's a set of skills that an entrepreneur has, and that those skills are high risk, high reward. They have the drive to create their own wealth. Things like finding ways to get out of difficult business situations and work through them. That's what an entrepreneur, that's what it's described as in this article. And today I'll be giving you a little background information about what HVAC is. I'll share an interview with you that I had with a professional in this field, and we'll talk a little bit about the job outlook. As we move now, I'll give a little background knowledge for you here. According to this web article, the Global HVAC Equipment article, by 2018, the HVAC field is expected to exceed around $140 billion. $140 billion field is what that means. That's a 9% increase from 2012, which was a $120 billion field. So that's a substantial increase, and I'd want a little piece of $140 billion. That's just me, though. As I said, $140 billion field by 2018. To start, equipment in this field, things of such like boilers, chillers, pumps, these are all things that, so basically what they do is a boiler and chiller cools and heats water, and a pump will pump it to wherever it needs to go, like up 40 stories, and then a vent or a fan will blow the hot or cold air off of that water into the building, heating and cooling it, and that's pretty much how it works. And these engineers that design this stuff nowadays are so much, they're just gaining and creating new things, so this is always an upgrade for this business, and it's really great. HVAC is trade work, so you're getting the knowledge and you're getting certified, and that's always great. So if all else fails, you can fall back on your trade. And the growing urbanization is what really spikes this demand for HVAC, and it's such a necessity, and there's so many buildings being built that it's just a really big field. Now that you have a little background information, I'd like to share with you the interview I had with the professional Mr. Scott Wunsch with Larry Wunsch and Associates here in town. They sell HVAC equipment. And I asked him a couple questions. I'm going to share some of those questions with you all today. The first question I asked him was, where did you begin and how did you move up? And he said, I began at the very, very bottom, grunt work, and he said, I learned and I learned and I learned and I excelled. You have to excel and work hard, and it's like a stepping stone. You need to cherish the bottom. The second question I asked him, what's a typical work day like for you? And he said, I'm up, work, home, sleep, repeat. So he's a pretty busy man. But normally he answers some answers some emails, he answers customer questions and complaints, and then most of his day is quoting jobs and following up on projects and pointing his employees into the right direction so they can succeed as well. These last two questions I'm going to share with you are personal to me, and I want to thank him for sharing this with me. I asked him what preparation, should I have to succeed. And he said you need to follow up with your degree and you need to get it, because as business evolves, the owner needs to evolve too, and that's what the business degree will teach you. And find a job in that trade so you have the experience when you get out. And the last question is or pieces of advice that he'd have for me. And he said, finish the degree and find a job doing as you're getting your degree. Strive to advance and let your boss know that you want to advance. Make relationships within the trade, the field, And don't be afraid to try new things. When your boss asks, you step up and tell them I want to do it. And work hard, because it'll always pay off. Now that you have a little background information, and I showed you, or I shared with you the interview I had with Mr. Wunsch, I want to go to the future outlook for this field. And according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, in 2012 there were 400,000 jobs. By 2022, there's projected to be 500,000 jobs, and that's a 21% increase faster than average, faster than any other occupational field. So that really says it all to me. But we'll continue. There are broad jobs from installing, working with mechanical contractors, sales and service, distributing, manufacturing, and it's just all in between. Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me, I'm sorry. There we go. And as we're moving on, the average pay for these, for labor positions, the average in 2012 was around $50,000 a year. The top 10 being paid $90,000, and the bottom 10 being paid around $30,000, and that's fairly good for labor positions. If you think $90,000, that's really good living, and only the management positions are even better, comparative to what company you work for. I'd like to conclude this speech with reciting what I just told to you guys. The ever-growing urbanization is a big demand, and it makes it a big demand for this field. And if I can take pieces of what Mr. Wunsch told me and cherish the bottom and learn and get my degree and work hard, I can put it all together with the great field that they have. And the outlook is just supposed to be even better. The 21% increase, that's outstanding. But this is a great field for me, and I'm going to tell you why. Because with what I heard from Mr. Wunsch, that's my goal and that's my plan, and I'm already on that plan. Going to school and working for somebody and learning it, and I'm putting it together, and I'm making myself marketable for those companies when I graduate, and that's really what I'm trying to do here. So that's my plan to execute it, is finish my degree and get that knowledge and strive to excel. And that's what it all boils down to. The future's bright, and I believe the future's bright for me. And I want to thank Mr. Wunsch for allowing me to have an interview with him. Thank you very much. I'm Randy Stewart.